they're running into a lot of problems, which are all self-made, because of what Facebook is and what they've represented over the past decade. This is all about trust. You can't have a bank, you can't be a new currency without people trusting it if you're going to sit in the middle of it. And people don't trust Facebook. So will it get off the ground? I mean, there are things I like about it and things I dislike about it. The idea of it, I think, is fantastic. It's crypto for the masses, but it's not really crypto for the masses.
But I like the idea that it will make it easier for people who don't have access to banking to actually find an easy way to.
Right, and they're pretending that's the whole reason they're doing this, which is absurd, right?
But that's a good.
Of course,
are
that's
you going into
great
politics?
thing.
It's crypto for the masses, but it's not crypto for the masses.
Exactly.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying
it or isn't it?
is it's not really crypto,
okay,
right?
Okay, then
because
it's not crypto.
It's not peer-to-peer.
I know it isn't.
There's
That's
something
my point.
in between
Then it's
it.
not. It either is or isn't.
Right. Someone is sitting, but
Nobody
the idea of
I like the float that all
digital
the financial
money.
institutions. That's my favorite thing. I like that they get to keep the float. All the big fat cat guys
Right.
that are already in the business. That really appeals to me.
I mean, there's so many issues
And Mark gets
with
to
it.
control things.
Right.
And it's based on fiat, so
Exactly.
as that gets debated.
And they're basically just saying, we've made mistakes before, but of course we'll do this right. And how do you trust that?
But the great irony is, and this is actually so interesting because Democrats are now against this.
Right.
If I told you the banks, and by the way, J.P. Morgan wants to do a coin like this, others are trying to do things like this.
Right.
Would you trust the banks more? I mean, this is
no, but you know what?
Except for the fact that the banks are chartered.
Right.
And had 5 banks come together with Facebook and Uber and 12 other companies and said, we're doing this, we're chartered, you can call us if there's a problem.
I think it would go through. I think that Amazon could pull this off because for whatever reason, we all trust Amazon. We put our credit cards in there every day.
Yeah, but regulators would want them to
regulators would be on them, and it wouldn't be like this. It wouldn't be like, let's put them up in front of a panel and tear them apart because they lied about data and they did this and that.
I mean, I think if you try and do this, if you try and act like a bank without becoming a bank and having the oversight that a bank would have, I think you're going to face pretty tough.
Well, I think it's intriguing. I do think all of this is eventually good for Bitcoin. I do think that Libra is the on-ramp. The idea of this electronic wallet pulls us all into this world, but it also shows why Bitcoin is so much better. Because you don't have Facebook in the middle. There's nobody in the middle of it. You don't have to trust anybody.
But the thing I keep questioning is, if they're going to regulate the heck out of Libra in a meaningful way, what does that portend for how they have to therefore think about Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency? Right. If they say, look, we're going to have to put all these guardrails around, and because of the structural peer-to-peer nature of Bitcoin, it may actually be it may fundamentally be impossible to put the same guardrails.
I mean, who do you pull in front of the Congress? There's nobody to pull in front of the Senate. And that's what's interesting about Bitcoin. They could regulate how you buy and sell it, but they can't regulate the people running it because there's nobody running it.
Can they track down and make sure that you can figure out who is behind every transaction? Because that's what law enforcement is now.
Yes and no. I mean, when Silk Road went down, they certainly were able to track down certain people. But I think there are ways to make crypto private, not necessarily Bitcoin. You can find ways to track Bitcoin. You're not completely
I think it's
out of that.
Long term, as Joe said, the toothpaste is out of the tube, and internationally, there's no question. It's hard to put it back in.
Can't unscramble an egg.
Can't unscramble an egg.
Genie's out of the bottle.
The thing that I think about is if the G7 were to say, you know what, guys, we're going to regulate all of the on-ramps, the Coinbases, everybody who's coming onto these things, we're either going to say you can't buy them using any of these wallets in these countries, or if you do, you have to do it in certain ways. That's where it gets more complicated.
I mean, there's certainly
is there technology that you could effectively add on to a Bitcoin, because there are people working on different custodial accounts and ways to do this that somehow would solve some of these things, but I don't know if you can get all the way there.
Right. Well, I don't see that happening. I don't see the whole world, the G7, everyone coming out and saying we're going to close down Bitcoin. I think, as you say, you can't unscramble that egg, and that egg is out there. I think that the idea of Bitcoin as a store of value, as a commodity of these things, is not really the threat that Libra is seen as. Libra is really a direct threat to banking.
That's because everyone falls back, Ben, on that it's too volatile to ever be really used as a currency.
It's not a currency. I don't think it is.
It doesn't mean that eventually it's not going to be as it gets.
Well, I mean, I think, and then you might have someone look at it.
I could see the volatility totally. I think it'd be at a lot higher level. Right. But I could see it eventually, and then you split it up into millionths or whatever.
Right. You'll use it like you might use gold, to buy something in a market.
I mean, we've gotten,
I don't know.
In a chaotic.
Right. In a chaotic.
Some of the big advocates, the Pomps. Block's of the world come in, and they do a calculation on if it did replace a large part of the financial system, and there's only 21 million coins, then you can get to a number on what it would be worth and stay there maybe. Right?
Absolutely. It will reach that point at some point. I think Pomp is brilliant.
What do the Winklevi say about Libra?
So they say a lot about Libra. I mean, I think what they're saying now, they definitely laugh at first. Just because of the name, the Libra Gemini thing, I'm not letting that go.
But they didn't say this isn't even...
I got into a Twitter war with that guy who's in front of Congress now, the Facebook guy, because I said, how could it possibly be a coincidence?
But they didn't laugh because it's no more compelling than a debit card?
They think that Libra has positives to it, but that it's all based on trust. And do you trust Mark Zuckerberg? And that's the issue that they have, obviously. I mean, they've run into him personally in a lot of ways.
Centralized. Doesn't that ruin everything?
Yeah. I mean, I think
doesn't that disqualify it immediately?
Right. But it's mainstream. It's all about mainstream adoption. It's all about how can we get everyone in the middle of the world,
honestly, that's
in the middle of the country.
Libra helps it out.
Exactly.
Right?
That's where Libra is good. So it's this double-edged thing. It gets the whole world talking about it.
All the sexy things don't exist in Libra.
There's nothing sexy about Mark Zuckerberg.
Which is why it'll get...
I will say that. I will say that personally.
Although Jesse Eisenberg, I found.
Well, Jesse. I mean, Jesse's.
I've always thought he's a better Zuckerberg. I've always said that.
He's a better Zuckerberg than Zuckerberg.
And tell me Justin Timberlake's not a better Sean Parker.
Well, you know, Sean became more and more like.
He's not bringing sexy back.
Timberlake. No. Give him a chance. He's got billions. He can pull it off.
All right. What? Well, look at me. You got to have more for you. Love this this guy here.
Are you into Bitcoin yet? No.
I'm not. Joe's become a maximalist.
Yes, he's a maximalist.
Like a stage 5.
No,
but you know why though? Because of Libra, enemy of my enemy.
I'm
look at Libra.
3 or 4 with still.
Because of the fan
look, I think it's out there.
Right.
I think it'll continue.
Yeah.
Will it be worth $100,000 in 10 years from now, or $500,000 or $1 million? I don't know. I mean, but here, my question as a protocol is, to me, yes, it could either be that or it could be like Torrent.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Where all of a sudden it's worth $8 and it's just used as a protocol.
I mean, I don't ever see it going back down.
No.
Not to those degrees.
And Ben, that's the coolest thing is that, you know, people say it's created out of thin air. If you look closely at the way it's the distributed ledger system, an hour of work that someone puts in is worth something, and you can transmit that value on a system peer to peer.
With you.
So it is worth something. It really, really, really is.
If everybody decides that they want it, it's worth something.
No, it's
but that's the value of everything. It has value and it has utility. I really think Trump needs to sit down with the Winklevoss twins.
I told him I could in 10 minutes I could get him to
right.
say
he needs to sit down with someone who understands Bitcoin and understands
who was on
what
the other day?
The positives of it are.